Just a moment. Um, we're gonna start in a soon in about 90 seconds. I'm excited to uh, find to tell you what I'm going to tell, but 1 minute. Good afternoon, or good evening, good day, good morning, whatever part of the world you may be tuning us in. I'm, I'm grateful that I had this opportunity to talk with you, and it's wonderful that I'm doing this podcast every week. It's wonderful to um, explore lots of topics. And of course, my guest, about 2 or 3 times a month, I will have a guest. And it's wonderful to learn about their perspective. And that's why I sometimes call this the panoramic show, but like the the official show is Stroke Folk Show with Brent Calhoun, DVM. Um, but I sometimes refer to it as the panoramic show because often we want to look at or view or uh, tell about something and use a different perspective. And when we do that, we have a new way of seeing or telling about something. And so I love this show because I can explore different avenues. And other thing, I don't really make a big deal about it, but depending on which side of the screen you can see it, is my logo, and it attempts to communicate to you about the community around the person, um, and that's really key because without our community, we'd be lost. And I have my community, and I suspect you have your community. And if you don't, or if it is weak, please strengthen it. It's so important. And the person is in the center, which has circles around their mind, um, is often when we had the stroke, it went and it messed up our brain, and slowly we're trying to put it all back together. So um, anyways, the way what I want to talk with you about today is the physical um, disabilities you may experience after your stroke, um, or if you're here for someone that you love, or maybe you're caretaking them, or maybe you just like new things. But there's really about five common anomalies or disabilities where we have, and the first is the weakness or paralysis. So the second stroke took out my motor function of my right side of my body, and that is what I deal with over 14 years later. In fact, in next um, on Thursday, I'll have the official um, um, anniversary of the first stroke. And then 2 days later, I'll have the anniversary of the second stroke. But I don't really focus on them because I'm always looking forward and I'm grateful I'm still alive. And so can you. But the first is a weakness or paralysis. The second is a speech or language difficulties. The first stroke took out my speech center, so I have expressive aphasia, and that means when I'm trying to say what is on my mind, sometimes I have difficulties doing that. But hey, I'm going to keep on going. And then number three, uh, the cognitive impairments. And they can mean memory loss, attention, a reduced attention span, or difficulty in planning and executing tasks. And if you know that one of them or all of them is for you, um, um, be um, hopeful. And I'll tell you about that issue when I get to the recovery tips. And the fourth is vision difficulties. My mom, gratefully, she's still with us after in almost her birthday will be in about a week. But um, she 2 years ago, or almost a year and a half, had a stroke, and one of the side effects she had was um, some vision problems. So that's how she deals with uh, first, especially in the first 3 months, with the side effects of that. And the last, or the fifth, common uh, um, side effects are balance or coordination issues. So we sometimes think about when we have the so-called gifts of the stroke or the strokes. Um, it's because we still are dealing with the aftermath of what the stroke left us with. So so when we often ask, what can I do about them? I offer you 5 tips at first, and then I go a little bit deeper and look at what we can do when money is tight or we don't have enough. But uh, number one is rehabilitation therapy. So if you can anyway engage in physical, occupational, and or speech therapy, it really helps. I'm grateful my medical insurance allowed me over the first 5 years to have a lot of therapy, and I took advantage of them. And I learned an awful lot from the therapist that I used, and often I used another person who or people who did therapy on the side, so to speak. So I was really grateful that I could do that, and I soaked it up like a sponge. And I was looking, what can I do different than I was doing before that I can use with my current situation. So, um, so that's number one. Number two is stay active. Do gentle exercises, yoga, or even daily walks. I'm grateful I have my dog. Sparky. Um, and um, because it helps me uh, retain and even regain strength and balance. There's four goals I use is one, um, strength, two is mobility or agility. Number three is balance. And number four is endurance or um, um, stamina. So that's what I look for my activity. Please borrow mine. They're not mine. I borrowed them from somebody else. So if you take them on and look at what you can deal with day by day, it helps. Number three is a healthy diet. And nutritious foods, they do fuel your body and your brain, but think about colorful fruits, vegetables, and proteins. It depends on whether you're vegetarian or not, but um, really, when you look at maybe you didn't have the best diet that led to your predicament, it doesn't mean you have to continue that. You can change it up and you can decide you're going to eat healthier. And number four is stay connected. Please, I mentioned the community. It's really important to uh, both build up your community and keep it strong. And number four or five is be mindfulness uh, and relaxation. We often don't think about doing those, but unless we get mindfulness, which brings us into the present moment, um, and if we don't relax occasionally, um, um, distress can be harder because I realized looking back on it, I was under distress. I didn't relax very much. And that probably added to my having the strokes. So there's all those things that are important when you're dealing with the aftermath of strokes. But I'm going to tell about 5 tips. If money is an issue, um, number one is utilize free online resources. For example, um, um, there's a lot of classes either on Facebook or other social platforms um, that will let you, for free of charge, they will do things. Or maybe you want to learn an exercise which strengthens your memory um, for free. But sometimes you have to spend some time to look and find out what's free, and that is excellent if you have access to a computer, your phone, or a tablet. Number two, use home-based exercises. So often I know that I should um, just stretch my arm. Um, it's important because sometimes I don't do that and it gets a little bit harder. But it's free. I can do it anytime through the day, and it helps, really helps. So whether you can do stretching, yoga, or other body weight exercises, um, that helps. I'm grateful that I have a treadmill and a exercise bike here in my home, and I use them um, uh, at least 3 times a week, and it's really important. All right. Number three is community support groups. So um, either through Facebook or other social platforms, I'm involved with Be Connected, and it also helps me stay in touch with others. And number four, healthy eating on a budget. So, like nutritionists, nutritional eating doesn't have to be expensive. Opt for whole foods like grains, beans, seasonal vegetables. So, like now I live in Michigan, in the USA, and we're in the winter. So, potatoes, carrots, um, these are more dense vegetables, but they're less expensive than other vegetables um, or fruits than this time. So I use them. I'm aware of them, and I plan my meals and cooking with that in mind. And number five is the public library resources. So it's great because they can be a source for free materials like exercise DVDs. And, and then sometimes they'll host a free community health workshops. Like a lot of the senior citizen community groups are based in the community where you are. And I have given my talk about preventing your next stroke and several of them. And that's an example. There's a free resource available for you.